Hey guys, Henny here. We're going to review another awesome tool. This is the Astro Pneumatics 78585. It's backwards and upside down. 78585. This is a pressure tester for cooling systems. It is also a vacuum bleeding kit, which is absolutely critical for the newer cars out there that you can't bleed without applying a vacuum first. So let's get right to it. I bought the kit, it looked just like this. You've got all these adapters for Mazdas, Hyundais, Kias, Chevys, Toyotas, you name it. They're all here. A bunch of great adapters. And then I noticed when I purchased it, there was 3 empty holes. So I did a little bit of research. First one is this guy here. This is sold separately, the 78585-21. That fits right there. Next, 78585-41. That fits right there. And 78585-42. That fits right there. Well, this whole kit was $100 some. These are about $30 to $40 each. They're not cheap, but guess what? These are the 3 most popular adapters by far. So, kind of sucks. But if you order this kit, just go ahead and bite the bullet right away. Order this one, this one, this one. Be done with it. Don't just buy the kit hoping it'll work with most of your stuff, because I guarantee you, you're going to want these 3 units unless all you work on is one car. All right, so I have a Dodge Grand Caravan I'm going to do a quick pressure test on. This guy has a normal radiator, believe it or not, even though it's 2017. It doesn't have the pressurized overflow tank, which most cars have. So you just get to connect right to the radiator like old school. Next, I'm going to grab the system pressurizer. Fairly well-built little tool. Feels like everything is pretty high quality. It's what I would expect from any one of the major tool vendors out there that come into your shop. Only thing is you only pay $100 once instead of $100 every week for the rest of your life. So, well, maybe a little more than 100, but not too bad. All right, so that's it. You just hook up your adapter to either your coolant tank or to your radiator, and then you start pumping. I need 2 hands for that, so I'm gonna be right back. All right, in my scenario, I like to pump up my cooling system to 15 PSI. And then typically what I'll do is I'll just walk away for 10 minutes and come back. If that needle has not moved, I know we're good to go. If it has moved, then we've got something going on in our cooling system we need to investigate and figure out where that pressure is going. To release the pressure, it's pretty straightforward. They gave you a pressure release valve here on the back of the, or the front, however you just simply hold down the button and let it release the air slowly. I will warn you, even though it's cold, the system's cold, if I just undo this cap and pull it off, it'll just shoot coolant out, so don't do that. All right, we're almost to 0 on our gauge, which means I should be able to release this without causing a geyser. You can see we do have a little bit of overflow just from releasing that pressure slowly. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that off. Hey, no geyser. Sweet. So that's the pressure test. Now we're going to do a vacuum bleed because I just did a thermostat in this unit. All right, so for the vacuum bleed, we're going to need a couple of tools out of this kit. The first one is the vacuum manifold, and the next one is a feed line for our fresh coolant. So I'm gonna go ahead and set this up on the car and kind of show you what it looks like. First thing you do is you hang the vacuum manifold. I usually hang it right from the hood release. Gives me a good area to work. This is our discharge line, and I'll show you what I do with that in a second. This is our uptake line, where we're gonna be bringing in fresh coolant. And this is our vacuum line, which goes to our radiator. All right, so this might look a little bit complicated, but it's actually fairly straightforward. So you got your air hose coming in here. I have this hooked up to my air compressor. This is a discharge bottle. So basically it's gonna blow air over this orifice, causing a vacuum inside this system. That air discharges out this hose, and then I've got it going into an empty jug of whatever. I think it used to be washer fluid. So, but just something to collect the fluid that gets scraped off the top. Then you've got a couple control valves here. So once I turn this air on, it'll just start blowing through this tube and creating a vacuum in the orifice. Then this controls your vacuum, whether I want the vacuum on or off. And then this controls the flow of your coolant, whether I want to suck the coolant into our empty chambers or turn off the coolant. So let's go ahead and get started, because I know that just sounded really complicated, but it's actually super, super easy. All right, I always start out with both of my valves closed. So perpendicular is closed, parallel is always open on these types of valves. So they're both closed. I'm going to turn this air supply off, and now we're ready to start going. So the first thing I'm going to do is turn it on. It gets kind of noisy, so I'm not sure how the volume is going to sound here. Oh, come on. All right. So we got our air supply running at this point. And you can see our gauge is at 0. What we want to do is create negative pressure in this cooling system so that all the air gets sucked out. So we're going to go ahead and turn our vacuum on. You can see the needle starting to move. Don't get too concerned if you see it jump all the way to the red for a second. That's pretty normal when a little couple droplets of coolant get sucked through the system. It raises the vacuum by a lot right inside the gauge, but it's not actually increasing the vacuum inside the system at all. All right, now you're gonna see, here's where it's discharging that air. I don't know if you can see, but there's little bubbles and stuff coming out. That's why you want that collection tank, because you don't want that just spraying all over the floor. Honestly, I don't even like inhaling it. So I've got it going into that discharge bottle. Got a couple holes in my discharge bottle, and that really lowers the amount of vapor getting thrown into the air. All right, we're gonna take a look at our gauge here. I'm gonna pause it while my compressor's running. All right, so we built up a little pressure here. What I like to do now is I like to open, so I've got my vacuum closed, I've got my air off, and I'm holding this negative atmospheric pressure. So what I'm gonna do now is just open this valve a little bit. I just wanna get rid of some of the air that's in this tube, so I'm not sucking up air into my system when I decide to do this. So first things first, make sure I got that all the way on the bottom of the bottle, and I'm just going to introduce antifreeze to the system. So now I should have antifreeze in this entire line all the way down through here. I'm gonna run it for a few more minutes and let the vacuum build up pretty high here. So since I feel pretty good with that, I'm gonna close this vacuum valve, and I'm gonna turn off my air. And now we're gonna just kind of make sure our feed is nice and low in that fresh coolant so we don't suck up a bunch of air. And once I'm confident in that, I will go ahead and open this valve, and we will fill all these hoses that collapsed. I don't know if you can see how thin that hose is. We're gonna fill that up with coolant. So I'm gonna put the camera down here where you can see that hose. And then I'm going to go ahead and open that valve and fill the system with coolant. You can see that hose expanding back to its normal size. And the system is taking up quite a bit of coolant. And just like magic, we went from a flat hose to a nice fat full hose. So that's it. Once we hit 0 here, our job is done. The system's completely full of coolant. There are no air gaps whatsoever, and we're good to go. We're just going to put everything away and put our radiator cap back on, and this job is complete. Hit me in the comments if you have any questions. I'm gonna also put a link in the comments to the Astro Pneumatics tool that I have here, this vacuum system. And then also those 3 additional adapters that you'll need if you're a shop owner. All right, thanks. Make it a great one. Bye. Hey guys, thanks again for watching my video. If you want to see more tool videos like this one, please click that like and subscribe button and you'll get a bunch more. Thanks. Have a great one.